currently a senior pastor at People's Chapel Church, and I've been a community minister here for 32 years. Very involved with families and communities, trying just to, improve literacy, improve, quality of housing, trying to find ways just to make life more affordable, accessible, and actually enjoyable. Trying to find practical ways that people can help themselves. So we really believe in, not doing things for people, but helping them find ways to, empower and do things for themselves.
My wife was teaching his kids piano. And so Rustin would come up and he would sit in the car and we never talked to each other. One day we visited their church and I saw what they were doing up there with the poor communities, and I really liked it. So I invited them for dinner. They came over. He saw what I was doing. He said, "John, if you can do it in your house, we can do it at church."
He's got more stuff now than he did back then, and it's a lot more organized now than it was, and that's really the Lord spoke to me and said, "You've been looking all over. Here's some of what you've been looking for."
When the gasoline went from 89 cents to 99 cents, I knew we were in deep trouble. And that's when I decided that I'm going to be totally independent energy-wise. Okay, so I started heating the house, producing all the electricity plus some that the house needs, and driving all the cars on alternative sources. You will see that it has a good side and it has a bad side. Okay, and when it's spinning clockwise, it's spinning toward the good side. That means we're making a bunch of power right now. Okay, in the evening or on a cloudy day, this number is dropping right now. Okay, we started at about 50,000 kilowatts. We're at about 4,800 something. Okay, so that means they owe me.
And I didn't know what to do with that. I'm not this isn't natural. I'm not very good with electronics. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not, but as a pastor and a believer in human capacity, I get all this stuff that it does. This weekend is our first team training for communities from around the country. We're going to be training communities on how to consider this model and apply it to work that they're already doing in their own community context. So what New Vision is trying to do is take all the things you'll see John doing in his individual little house and some other ideas that other members have, and we're trying to model them now at a community level. And if it works at our community level, could it work at a national level? Once you see one person's meter spin backward, you say to yourself, I wonder if my meter can spin backwards too.
What we're trying to do is improve people's living conditions and also to improve their ability to heat and cool their homes. And typically the populations that we work with are families who are very vulnerable and very low income, who can't really afford to pay their utility costs anyway. So looking at trying to conserve energy is really important. And what we're trying to do while we're here is to learn more about how not only can our families conserve energy, but they can become energy producers.
It really took off, and church got together, and we started building our own solar panels at the time, and church is running on the solar, and we have several other houses from church members and non-church members also, because you don't have to be a Christian in order to be part of a New Vision.
So what John did was, again, they're just two shower doors that are sandwiched together. He came up with a system that keeps the cell off of the glass. When most people saw them, they said they didn't look very, I'm not sure I want those on my house, and I kind of agreed. So what we did was we started buying real aluminum, real solar glass, real caulking that worked very well. And they still function, but they're more historical at this point.
This is the whole idea. This is how it works. You're living in 1968 mobile home with 2x2 walls. Okay, you're working on minimum wage or you're on welfare. How are you going to build a solar panel? Impossible. Okay, $7,000 is an incredible amount of money for you. So what we do is we take part of our fund and we'll lend you the money. Okay, we'll help you build the system. Of course, you have to work with us. Okay, that's where the community hours come in, where you have to put the labor into it. We build that system with your help at your property. Now, the portion of the bill that you would normally pay back to electric company, you pay back to the New Vision.
I think it's the right people coming together at the right time. So John is somebody that he's been doing this personally himself, but he probably had no venue for sharing his knowledge. And I think that's true of a lot of really smart people. You know, he's so busy inventing the next thing, he wouldn't think about how important the last thing he invented was to somebody that's never invented anything. And, you know, for me, I was just trying to find practical ways to fight poverty. And so here's a guy with no electric bill, didn't go to the gas station, and didn't have a heating bill. Well, those are the pretty much the big three, other than water, medicine, and food. You know, so now you really have 6 big bills that most everybody has. You know, he's figured out how to resolve, you know, 3 of them in a pretty significant way.
This was a hobby, okay, and it sort of turned into a major obsession.